I know you want to ask this question. If Africa had Da Vinci caliber geniuses, why are their names not as famous? The answer lies in colonialism and Eurocentric historiography. Let's break it down. For centuries, colonial powers and biased historians systematically dismissed or ignored Africans' accomplishments. A practice some scholars bluntly call epistemicide, the killing of knowledge. European narratives often portray Africa as a continent without history or innovation, a false claim that served to justify colonial domination. Perhaps the most notorious example is Oxford historian Trevor Roper, who declared in 1963, "Perhaps in the future there will be some African history to teach, but at present there is none. Only the history of Europeans in Africa. The rest is darkness." Such statement from a highly educated figure no less shows the blatant denial that African people ever achieved anything worthy of record. This dismissive attitude led to the silencing of African genius in global narratives. African achievements were often attributed to outsiders or deemed anomalous. Let's recall how the exquisite Ife bronze head were initially credited to Atlantis or ancient European, anything but acknowledging that African artists could produce masterworks on their own. When the Rhinestone city of Great Zimbabwe were discovered in the 19th century, some colonial archaeologists insisted they must have been built by Phoenicians or Israelites, refusing to believe sub-Saharan Africans could erect complex stone architecture. In the Sahel, French colonial officers scoffed at the idea that Timbuktu's manuscript had scientific merit, often letting them decay or even looting them as curiosities rather than preserving them as libraries of knowledge. Colonial powers also actively destroyed or hid evidence of African high civilization. In West Africa, when the Moroccan forces sacked Timbuktu in 1591, they exiled scholars like Ahmad Baba and carted away many manuscripts. Later, during French colonization, schools in Mali taught French literature and European history, while neglecting local intellectual heritage, causing generations to grow up unaware of Ahmad Baba or Al-Sadi. Similarly, Nigeria colonial curriculum lauded Da Vinci and said nothing of Imhotep, the Nok culture, the Benin or the Ifes. The result was a gaping disconnect. Africans' own people were often not taught about their geniuses, and the rest of the world remained ignorant by design. European museums filled up with Benin bronzes, Ethiopian manuscripts, and Egyptian antiquities, but framed them as trophies of a primitive world rather than the product of sophisticated society. This is why